Psychology is not your friend, you know. When I think about psychology, one thing that comes to mind is Babylon, you know. If you go by the Bible, which is something I know a lot better than the Quran, which is part of why it's the topic of my videos rather than the Quran. And also I live in a country with a lot more Christians than Muslims. But anyway, going back to the point, is you think of a makeup, right? I think of makeup. You know, makeup is a way that white people and lighter people tend to look better with makeup on than darker people do. And I would say it's just in my opinion, but I think this is pretty much a fact, you know. Darker people are better off going for a natural kind of look, and lighter people, in a way, are better off, you know, going for a colorful look, you know, getting a tan, putting on makeup, things of this nature. If you think about what is makeup, makeup is a way to fool you. You know, it makes somebody who's might just be attractive to their own race for the most part, attractive to all races. You know, this is not necessarily the case, but the majority of people probably would agree with this statement. Although there are people that would be attracted to people of other race in their natural state. But anyway, it's psychology. You know, it's something that's been there from ancient times. You know, they talk about the Babylonian makeup and how Egyptians and Babylonians taught women to use makeup to be more attractive and have a psychological edge over women. Over men. Psychology is probably the most wicked, what you might consider a science. I don't consider it a science because there's nothing to build on, you know. There's just theories, there's just effects that it has, but there's no guaranteed effects, you know. For example, if I put a lighter to a spoon and it has a little bit of water, you can guarantee that that water is going to evaporate. It's going to be gone. Okay, if you heat it up, that's guaranteed. In psychology, there is no guarantees. If you put on a bunch of Babylonian makeup, there's no guarantee that you're going to be attracted to somebody. If you act a certain way, trying to, you know, enforce or impress authority onto somebody, there's no guarantee that you'll have authority over that person. There's no guarantee that your psychological mind tricks will work. There's no guarantee that psychology will work. There's no guarantee. So it's not a science. There's no valid facts in psychology. There is just theories. There's just overgeneralization. There's just oversimplification. Nobody knows how the mind works. Nobody knows what is going to work. We just know what kind of works. You know, for example, there is propaganda, there is psychology behind propaganda. We know that if we do things a certain way, a lot of people are going to buy into the bullshit. But there's no guarantee that we might, you know, that you might put out propaganda or PR, public relations campaigns, and nobody will buy it. You know, there's no guarantee that everyone won't reject it. You see what I'm saying? There's no guarantees in psychology. It's from the devil. It's not the truth. The truth is from God. Psychology, lies, deceit, trickery is from the devil. One thing, personally, that made it obvious to me is psychiatry. Psychiatry uses psychology to get you to, you know, prescribe to their way of thinking and to accept their prescription meds. You know, it's complete falsehood. It's a pseudoscience. It's a fallacy. But it works. You know, they create the facade that it's helpful to society when it's not. They create facade that they have the answers to your pain when they don't. Only God and only you have the answers to your suffering. You can drug yourself into a stupor, into a state of stupidity, but that doesn't solve anything. So psychology is of the devil. You won't see me using psychology. You won't see righteous people using psychology. Who uses psychology? Unscrupulous whores, people in marketing, you know, people who are trying to sell you stuff. A lot of it which you don't need, trying to sell you stuff you don't need. You know, used car salesmen. I mean, who uses psychology? The military, you know, and their propaganda. And to get the troops to fall in line to do something which is usually not the right thing to do. I mean, who uses psychology but evil people? I can't think of a single instance where a good person uses psychology for something good. Why can't people understand that this is evil, this is wrong, this is unacceptable? It's a satanic pseudoscience at best. At best. So moving on. I recently talked to the Street Gang's staff. You know, I went to their YouTube channel and I got a response for the first time there, and it was basically saying, why don't you talk about psychiatry? Because it has everything to do with what they're talking about. Everything. It has everything to do with poverty. It has everything to do with controlling the blacks and minorities and the gangs and the ghetto. It has everything to do with the legal process, the legality. It has everything to do with Tookie. Tookie was forced on powerful psychiatric medication, tranquilizers. It has everything to do with gangs. Everything. Okay, the fact that gangs call themselves, you know, psychopaths, and they'll give themselves these names. Psychology and psychiatry have everything to do with gangs. In fact, that's another group of people that isn't righteous. They use the psychology. Gang members. Okay, they put graffiti and they dress a certain way. Why? For the psychological effect that it will have on you. You know, you might say, well, I dress like a hip hop guy. It has nothing to do with psychology. It has everything to do with expression. Gangs do not want to just express themselves. They want to have you afraid of them. They want to have you do what they want you to do. They want to be seen as cool. It has everything to do with psychology, almost nothing to do with expression. But it is an expression, obviously, at the same time. But when you truly look at it and break it down for what it is, it's psychology. And everyone who uses psychology is a fucking scumbag. You might say, well, you know, why don't you say it to their face? Well, I fucking do say it to their face. I told these, I said meet me at the fucking park, okay? I'm not going to get into it, okay? But there isn't a single person or group of people on this planet that I didn't tell how I feel about it. You know, I haven't, you know, you might say, well, why didn't you? I've told gangsters. I made a video, I said, you're a bunch of faggots. You accept faggots, feminists, cross-dressers, and trannies into your gang. That's why I'm not a gangster. You understand me? But, you know, that's neither here nor there. Going back to the topic, psychology. You know, I'm not going to speak in an eloquent manner because I don't have to. I'm down to earth. I'm speaking at how it is, and I'm saying that how I want to say it. Sometimes I'll use fancy words and make it for a more mature audience. Sometimes I'll make it for everybody, you know, and sometimes I'll make it for a gangster ghetto audience. Sometimes I'll make it for the thugs. I'll say it how I want, and I'll appeal to any group of people I wish and I see fit. Period. Okay? So fuck your Babylonian psychology. Fuck psychology in general. Where does it come from? A bunch of Germans. Where do Neanderthals come from? It's a German word, right? You know, if you truly understand how the world works, if you truly understand how it works, you had a lot of great black African nations, Middle Eastern nations, and what happened? The white man came in with his bullshit psychology and tried to replace religion, tried to replace spirituality with psychology, as he's doing with psychiatry. Psychiatry is teaming up with psychology to demonize religion and to force you to see it in their theory, in their theoretical fashion. Not in their scientific manner, but they want you to see things from a theoretical perspective. Okay, that is what's going on here. They said, let's replace the black guy, his spirituality, his deep, profound, righteous religion with our bullshit devil psychology and get them to do what we want them to do. Because long ago, blacks in Egypt, in Nigeria, in Sudan, blacks all over Africa used to get people to do the right thing using a righteous connection to spirituality and to the divine, to the spiritual, to the what is unseen. And also to nature as well, a deep connection to nature. And they replaced that with psychology, with Babylonian whores, Babylonian theories, with witches, with devils. I mean, I challenge anybody to a beta psychology. Show me one good thing that's ever come from psychology. You know, of course people use psychology on themselves to try to get them to do something that they're too cowardly to do. They'll say, well, I'm just going to talk to myself and get myself to do it. That's not manning up. That's using a devil mind trick. You know? You're supposed to connect with God and man the fuck up. You're not supposed to use devil mind tricks. You're supposed to turn to God with your anxieties. You know? Pray to God and connect with God and be healed. Not turn to some fucking harmful pill. Now, many of you who know me know that I argue with my own family on this issue. Okay? I'm not surprised that there's a bunch of bootlicking cowards with no idea about the truth would debate me. I've been studying this for 20 years. I've been to reform schools. I've been to psychiatric institutions. I know the truth. You fucking don't. And some of these psychiatrists know as well, and they smirk with their devil smile. Thank you.